Alright, who can guess what this sound is? If you guess some kind of weird tribal African instrument, you'd be wrong. Although I'm sure maybe there are some kalimbas or something out there that sound similar. That is way too loud. Well, if you guessed a can of beer, you were right. And your prize is another episode of the Sixto Show. What a prize, eh? We'll be fighting wars over that one. Now, I opened the big juicy beer hug instead of my Voodoo Ranger. Oh well. Goose Island, big juicy, 9.9%, full of sunshine and tropical sweetness, I'll say. A little too sweet. Yeah, I'll get used to it. I tend to get used to my fag beers, as they call them. Now, today, I only have 2 news things. I might riff a little bit afterwards. I hate that phrase. A riff is something you play on, like, an instrument. It's not talking. Oh, let's riff about it. You say shit like that, you sound like you're about to go do some slam poetry when you're done. I mean, let's just call it what it is. I might sit here and jaw jack it. After I jaw jack it, the second jaw jacking will just be off the cuff, whatever the hell comes to mind. Whereas the first jaw jacking will actually hold some kind of purpose. I got 2 stories, some Trump nonsense, and VPNs. Are they going to get banned? Well, I say no. I say that it's actually impossible to ban them. But even if it wasn't, I'll get into that later. Even if it wasn't, this just isn't going to go through. There are enough people, more than enough people in this country alone, let alone the whole world, that recognize the importance of a VPN. I'm one of them. I actually pay money to use a VPN. And I use my VPN all the time. It's almost exclusively always running on my phone. Sometimes I turn it off so that I can get my news that's actually local to me instead of getting news from Tennessee or Canada or wherever the hell else my VPN may be located at the time. But I pretty much use it all the time. If I'm streaming stuff, sometimes from watching videos or whatever, I have to turn it off because it gets slow. But just for basic browsing and other such things. And I can understand some people are probably like, oh, what the hell's a VPN? Or like they've heard of it, they don't really know what it is or what it does. They just know that it's like a layer of security for you to have when you're on the internet. And I guess that's a very basic way of putting it. And then you got people who know what a VPN is, but don't really use them ever. Maybe if they're going to go like pirate a movie or do something that's also of questionable legality on the internet, they might use it or download like a free one, which in my experience, I mean, I don't have any experience doing this obviously, but in my experience, you cannot use torrent clients with a VPN unless you have the full version, the paid version of the VPN. Not that I would know. Now, this article comes from CNET, which I was actually surprised to see they're still around. I remember CNET when I was like a kid. And they're still kicking. They've changed their logo a little. Looks kind of weird. I used to go on CNET to look up how to get certain things done on a computer that I didn't know how to do. Used to have tutorials and stuff like that, little tech articles, but now it looks like they're kind of becoming a bit of like a news, like a tech news site as well. Maybe they always were and I just didn't know. Leave VPNs alone. Thursday's day of action against possible VPN bans. An anti-censorship and surveillance group urges action to defend the right to privacy. The right to privacy. Well, you don't have a right to privacy. You have, if you have the ability to keep your privacy intact, then you have that, but you don't have any right to it. You gave up that right a long time ago when you started having computers with cameras and microphones in your house, when you started carrying around smartphones. I mean, everyone wants to jump on the whole 1984 thing. Oh, it's coming, you know, you're going to have the TV in your house where you can't turn it off and the camera's always on and the microphone's always on. Well, we're kind of already there. It's not as like intensely used. They don't have that whole matrix of control with it where they're actively targeting individuals or every individual in their house. But you do carry around a fucking phone that has all that technology and more. I would say it's more of a spy device than the screens were in 1984. So all these, you know, fucking jumping up in the town square on their soapbox, ringing the bell, blowing the trumpet about privacy, our right to privacy, and how it's starting to go too far. Well, it already has. I don't know how you guys don't see it. We're already there, man. The most you can do, really the most you could do is go live off grid if you really want to. But if you want to be a part of society to that extent, and you want to have a smartphone, and you want to have internet in your house, and you like having a computer, well, then there's certain measures you have to take, and I would say a VPN is one of them, which is why preventing VPNs from being banned seems to be a goal of this anti-censorship and surveillance group. What's the group called? Okay, leave VPNs alone. That's the plea from online censorship, anti-online censorship and surveillance group Fight for the Future, which designated Thursday as a VPN day of action to press lawmakers not to ban VPNs. Well, again, they can't. It's impossible. You can ban the commercially available ones, sure, but the scope of this, it's an undertaking where you want to ban VPNs, you'll have to ban networking in general. You'll have to ban an operating system. You'll have to ban computers basically, and only give people like what North Korea does, how they have their own Red Star OS. I mean, if that's what if they really want to try to ban VPNs, they're going to have to go that far. I don't think these lawmakers, well, no, I know for sure these lawmakers have no fucking clue what they're talking about. I believe the article gets into that later. The group of activists, artists, engineers, and technologists is asking people to sign an open letter, encouraging politicians. Here, I'll sign it, actually. I'll open that in a new tab and do that later. Because I don't want VPNs getting banned. I mean, I know I could... Again, I'll get into that later. Encouraging politicians to preserve the existence of VPNs and defend privacy and to access knowledge and information online. VPNs encrypt internet connections and can hide your physical location. Joining the action on Thursday was the VPN Trust Initiative, comprised of NordVPN, ew, Surfshark, ew, and ExpressVPN, ew. They don't even have any good ones in that initiative. Hey, where's Proton, man? Proton's the way. And the VPN Guild, which includes Amnesia VPN. That's amnesia spelled with a Z, not an S. So it's not amnesia, it's amnesia. Kind of like that. The open letter refers to recent age verification laws propelling legislative moves to ban or restrict VPN usage. Such measures would lead to increased online surveillance and censorship, which has a huge chilling effect on our freedoms, particularly the freedoms of traditionally marginalized people, the letter notes. Oh, they had to throw that in there, right? What do you mean traditionally marginalized? Who's traditionally marginalized in this country? What are they getting at? Blacks? Homosexuals? Women? Who's traditionally marginalized that banning or restricting VPN usage would affect them more than others? What does online freedom have to do with traditionally marginalized people? I don't want to go on a huge aside here. I forgot that was in this article. I read it earlier. You know, I wake up earlier than usual. I get all my shit done. I'm expecting it to be like 3, 4 o'clock. I look over, it's fucking like 12:30. I'm like, what the fuck? So I just, you know, put on a video game. I start reading some shit online, and I come across this. I don't remember. I feel like I would have remembered reading this part. That would have stuck out and been like, hey, if I'm going to do a show about this, I got to talk about that. But it must have slipped me by. Let's read it again. Such measures would lead to an increased online surveillance and censorship, which has a huge chilling effect on our freedoms, particularly the freedoms of traditionally marginalized people. Again, so I'm guessing they're referring to. I mean, that's a very liberal phrasing. You know, marginalized means like what? Like if you have a piece of paper, like note paper, you've got that blue line that goes down the side, closest to the left side, and that's the margin. So I'm guessing where the word came from was all the people were kind of forced into that little area, whereas what, like straight white people, straight white men occupied the rest of the paper, and everyone else just kind of went and sat in the margins. I'm guessing that's where the word came from. I actually don't know. I've heard the word before, obviously, but that's just my best guess. Unless it's about margarine, but that's a whole margarinalized. We can turn them into margarine. I don't think it would taste very good. I mean, margarine doesn't taste good anyway. I remember hearing somewhere that margarine wasn't actually made as a butter substitute to begin with. It was made as something that was used to, like, fatten turkeys. I don't know how true that is, but I do remember hearing it. I'm like, yeah, no wonder I don't like that shit and I don't ever eat it. I remember when I was a kid, my mom used to fucking buy it. The big country crock tubs. But then she'd also buy butter. It's like, why would you need both? Like, one or the other. If you're going to use butter on your toast or whatever, why would you want margarine? Just, it's like butter or olive oil for the rest of your cooking, or other oils. You don't need fucking margarine. Anyway, that was a huge aside. On an aside. Way off course. That's how we do here on the Sixto Show, man. It is really rant central. It is really fucking just stream of consciousness. A stream leading straight to the sewer. Now, again, how does this react or relate to marginalized people? I don't think that the groups that they'd be referring to, blacks, women, queers, what do they need VPNs for any more than, or any other reason, or any bigger reason than anyone else would need a VPN? That just doesn't make sense. Maybe the group just threw that in there because they know that that'll, if they can, shoehorn in some kind of liberal talking point, maybe it'll get through to these lawmakers a little better. That's the best guess I have, honestly, because there's no reason that you would even need to include that. It just has a huge chilling effect on online freedom, not necessarily of any particular group of people, just everyone that wants to use a VPN. I'm sure there are black people that use VPNs. I'm sure there are queers that use it. Plenty of women that use it. Just as there's plenty of men and whites and straight people. And it's stupid. It's stupid to even try to categorize shit that way. Leah Holland, Fight for the Future's Campaigns and Communication Director, said VPNs are vital for people living under authoritarian regimes to avoid censorship and surveillance, and have become an essential tool in exercising basic human rights. Well, you have no rights, first of all, but, I mean, it is true. People living under those regimes, living in those countries, do find lots of use out of a VPN. That is why Proton, I don't want to make this a commercial about them, but Proton actually made a protocol for their VPN called Stealth that is DPI resistant, deep packet inspection resistant. So it's probably the slowest protocol they have, but it's also the most secure and resistant to detection, which is probably what a lot of the people living in these countries under authoritarian regimes or whatever are using stealth more than anything else. Or they have other VPNs that do something similar. As far as I know, stealth is like a exclusive thing to Proton, though. But that doesn't matter, right? We're talking about banning them in the United States. We're not talking about other countries. So what does that have to do with it? Those countries that ban VPNs, that are living under those authoritarian regimes, they already ban VPNs. People just get them anyway. Which is, again, a point that I brought up earlier. It's going to tie into something I'm going to bring up later. Half of all U.S. states have passed age verification laws requiring internet users to prove their age with government-issued IDs, credit card checks, and other methods. Let's just stop there and kind of go over that for a second. Half of all U.S. states. I know Florida has done it. I remember seeing that in the news a while ago. I mean, a good way to test if your state is one of the states that's passed this law, just don't have a VPN and try to go and watch porn, because I'm sure the website will kick you off or block you from even getting on until you verify your age. Which, I mean, for me, if I was like a fucking porn addict, and even if I wasn't as security minded as I am, and as paranoid about my internet presence as I am, I wouldn't want to throw my fucking ID or my actual identity verification into a database that will then link, say, all the porn that I'm watching to it. I don't know. That's not a database I think that should exist. But you can bet your ass, even if the companies say, like, oh, we do age verification, we just take a picture of you, we take your ID, looks good, we link it to your account, and then we delete the picture. So no one, it's just a temporary thing so we can verify you were, I'm sure they all say that, right? Something similar. But you have to use, an ID, a credit card check. What if you don't have a credit card? What if you don't have a credit card? And what if you don't even have an ID? I know people who don't have IDs. Now, I mean, they're like, well, I could say I knew people. I haven't talked to any of them in a long time. Some of them were like homeless or in and out of being homeless. Some of them were just drug addicts, whatever. But so now they can't go online. They're adults. They can't go online and access. I'm sure the main thing that this is all about is pornography, right? It has to be. What else are you verifying your age? I mean, you can even go online to a beer, like a brewery website, or cigarettes, and you just make an account with them. You don't have, or you can even just click like enter your birth date, and anyone can enter anything they want and get onto those sites. But the main thing has to be porn, because I mean, what else is on the internet that anyone's going to be that concerned about verifying your age? The laws have spurred consumers to sign up for VPNs to avoid giving out sensitive information, with one recent VPN sign-up spike in the UK. Oh, I spoke too soon, but I was right. Michigan, which seems to just be trying to compete with California to pass the most insane fucking laws. I mean, I remember a few years ago they tried to pass a law making it a felony to misgender somebody, whether in person or on the internet. It didn't get passed, but the fact that it even made it to their fucking legislative floor and made it into the news says there's a real problem going on in Michigan. Michigan is considering a bill banning adult content online. Yep. And what's adult content? Porn. It's not R-rated movies. It's not YouTube videos about drugs. It's not violence. It's porn. So I don't know why they don't just say it's considering a bill banning pornography. Which, I would be okay with it if they just said, oh, we're going to ban porn altogether, federally. We're banning it. Because, you know what? People are still going to get porn. You know how many people just have probably terabytes and terabytes of porn just downloaded? They save all their fucking videos that they find online. You know how many people will go out, and if they ban porn, they will create more and share it? If not on the internet, then from person to person, it'll be like an underground viewing thing, a porn party where, oh, this guy's got the porn. All right, this weekend, it's like a speakeasy. You got to say the right word to get in, and everyone goes in. They're all drinking, having a good time, except this time it's just everyone beating off watching porn. You can't get rid of it, even though I would say it would be a good thing to ban it entirely. If it becomes law, Michigan would be the first U.S. state to ban VPNs. Many countries, including China, India, and Iran, already ban or heavily restrict VPNs. Leah Holland said, amid a moral panic, ignorant save the children politicians are getting very close to kicking the hornet's nest of millions of people who know how important VPNs are. I like this Leah Holland chick. She's smart. And it is. It's very ignorant. People, these politicians who like I said in the video description, and like I said earlier, have no fucking clue how any of this works at all. We're gonna ban VPNs. I don't know how a VPN works or what it does, but we're gonna ban it. If you get caught with a VPN, you're going to prison. Well, you can't exactly catch someone, especially if they have a good VPN. It's like concealed carry. If you do it right, they're not gonna know you have it unless you get fucking frisked. So unless they're gonna come and, like, seize your computer, they won't know you have it. That's the first thing. And let's say they do manage to ban VPNs, like commercial VPNs. You cannot go on an app store or go online and download one. You can make them yourself. I don't know about the newer versions of Windows, but I know that older ones had the option to create your own VPN. Just in the GUI itself, in Windows, built in. But anyone who knows what they're doing coding, and I don't, could actually create their own VPN that's probably better than even the ones that are commercially available for the most part. It's not that hard to do. But these idiots, politicians, just complete fucking tools who love to speak on things that they have not the first inkling about at all, how it works at all. People we apparently put there. We put them there for reasons A, B, and C, right? And then they want to come back with X, Y, and Z. No, look, you know how many people probably, whoever the politician is that put forth this idea in Michigan, I'm sure there are plenty of people who voted for him that are like, what the fuck are you doing? No, I use a VPN. You don't get to do that. I mean, the smart ones know that you cannot do that. It is impossible. Because what are you going to do? You're going to say, okay, these companies can't have their VPNs anymore in this state. So you know what you're going to do? You're going to get a VPN to change your location to another state that doesn't have it banned. And it won't, even if you want to use a specific one, you can route one through another. Let's say I want to use Proton, and it gets banned in my state. I'll just go find some little no-name one that didn't quite get the memo or doesn't give a fuck and still will activate on an internet connection based in my state, and then route it through to the Proton when it's in a state where they're legal. This is an uphill battle that they cannot win. They cannot win this. It ain't gonna happen. And it is. It's all this save the children crap. Oh, we need to think of the children. That's why we need to do this. Kids have access to porn. You know what? Kids are going to have access to porn, no matter what the fuck you do. You think you can get through a pubescent teenage boy and his pornography? Think again. Think again. You're not going to do it. I'll tell you this. My first experience with porn, I was in 6th grade. You know how I got it? Through a buddy at school gave me a DVD that he stole from his older brother. Like an actual produced DVD. And once that happened, it's like, okay, now I got sex in my brain. So then I would use computers if I was like, because I was living with my dad when I used his laptop. This was back in the days of LimeWire. I got porn through there. Dude, it's kids are going to get porn as long as porn is available. Now, if you outright ban it in your country, you say no more porn at all, of course there's still going to be porn. Maybe it'll be harder for kids to get a hold of it, but they're still going to get a hold of it, man. And it's you save the children types, especially the conservative Christian politicians who still love the Constitution and love liberty. You're the fucking idiots. Your ideas, your worldview, your philosophy is what brought the porn to the level where it is in this country in the first place. You guys don't see that, do you? It's the I don't agree with what you're doing, but I'll die for you to defend your right to do it. As a Christian, you may not agree with pornography, but as an American, you'll still go out and you'll go die for their right to do it. Bad Ben Shapiro impression, I'm sorry. You're talking out of both sides of your mouth, but hey, that's what politicians do best, right? Could a VPN ban happen? Banning VPNs would be difficult, according to attorney Mario Trujillo of the Electronic Frontier Foundation and International Digital Rights Group. There's digital rights now? Okay. Trujillo told CNET that VPNs are best for routing your network connection through a different network. They can be used to help avoid censorship, but they are also used by employees in virtually every sector to connect to their company's network. That is a practical reality that would make any ban difficult. I don't know why he didn't add that, like I said earlier, you can make your own VPN. Like this. This would be like, we're going to ban alcohol. When you can literally go and buy a bottle of fucking juice, fruit juice, and just add sugar and yeast to it and give it a couple weeks, and you're going to have some basic, cheap, but still drinkable and still gets you drunk wine. So if you want to ban that, you have to also then go out and ban juice and ban yeast. But people will still find ways to make yeast and to create juice for. So then you have to go ban fruit. It's a. You see what I'm saying? It's like infinite regress. You'll have to ban everything if you want to ban people from making alcohol. Same with VPNs. You'll have to basically ban the computer. You have to ban the smartphone. You'll have to ban the computer. You might even have to ban certain game consoles that connect to the internet, because they can be turned into computers with minimal effort. It's not a practical reality that would make the ban difficult. It makes it impossible. Trujillo added that the U.S. lags behind the rest of the world in privacy regulation and that lawmakers should focus more on privacy than VPN bans. Well, good luck with that. They don't really give a shit. Fight for the Future identifies local lawmakers and provides templates for contacting them. This information is on the same page as their open letter. Is this the same article? I guess it is, but it looks like they're... Maybe it's another one. A new bill aims to ban both adult content online and VPN use. Could it work? Michigan representatives just proposed a bill to ban many types of internet content, porn, as well as VPNs that could be used to circumvent the ban. Well, I just explained why that's not going to happen. And it's also, I think, part and parcel of a bigger issue here that You know, we are living in a nanny state, that is obvious. Where the government feels the need to treat its citizenry like babies, to where we're essentially, it's like living in prison. You get up and you're told what to do, when to do it. You don't have any freedom to do what you want, when you want. You eat when they tell you. You go outside when they tell you. You shower when they tell you. And that's what we're headed towards here, except it'll probably be more digital. Like, hey, you can't go on any of these sites. You're not allowed to have this piece of software on your computer, because that's all a VPN is, right? It's just software. The bill called the Anti-Corruption of Public Morals Act. Okay, I like that. I do like that. It sounds cool. But it's also just degrading freedom, which I think can be done the right way. But instead of going after the source, it's not, oh, we need to ban the content. If you really wanted to get rid of it, you'd go after the people creating it. You'd go after the companies you'd go after the owners of things like OnlyFans or Pornhub or whatever. Instead, you're just taking a valuable, vital piece of software that has many more uses other than circumventing a ban on porn, and you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater because you're a fucking idiot. Oh, this is funny. The bill, called the Anti-Corruption of Public Morals Act and advanced by 6 Republican representatives, would ban a variety of adult content, a wide variety of adult content online, ranging from ASMR. Isn't that those videos where people, like, make weird noises? Like, isn't that what ASMR is? What? What? Oh man, Republicans are so stupid. I hate to say it because I'm supposed to be on your side. You guys are as dumb as a box of rocks. You out of touch. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my. It bans a wide variety of adult content online, ranging from ASMR and adult manga. I'm okay with banning anime. Anime's gay. To AI content. So all AI content? So that means, like, no chat GPT. You can't AI generate anything, images. And any depiction of transgender people. Good. We should ban that. It also seeks to ban all use of VPNs, foreign or US produced. VPNs are suites of software often used as workarounds to avoid similar bans that have passed in states like Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. I believe Georgia, Florida, Alabama, most of the South, I think, has already not banned VPNs, but they've done the whole age verification thing for certain websites. The thing is, the websites have to agree to do it, basically. They can tell those states, like, go fuck yourself. We're not implementing anything. And it would basically have to go to a federal level for these sites to be forced. Any bans that are going on, or age verification requirements that are going on in your state, it's not just the state's fault. It's the website that is implementing it. They're playing ball. So keep that in mind. Michigan's bill would charge internet service providers with detecting and blocking VPN use, as well as banning the sale of VPNs in the state. Associated fines would be up to $500,000. Now, is that fines for the ISPs or is that fines for individuals? They have a screenshot on here, which looks very familiar to me because it's Proton. It's the one I use. Now, here's the, like I said earlier, detecting and blocking VPN use. If I were to use Proton and use their stealth protocol, the ISP wouldn't be able to detect it. That's the whole point. Why do you think it's so popular with people in fucking China or North Korea probably or anywhere else that is authoritarian? And now we have people in the United States, in Michigan, who are essentially trying to replicate what these authoritarians in other countries are doing. And these are people that, I mean, Republicans are the ones trying to pass this. You'd think that, you know, they're against the whole, the communism and authoritarianism and all this, but they're trying to implement it themselves. Big surprise, right? No, we all know this. Unlike some laws banning access to adult content, this Michigan bill is comprehensive. It applies to all residents of Michigan, adults or children. Targets an extensive range of content, obviously, like I just said earlier. It includes language that could ban not only VPNs, but any method of bypassing internet filters or restrictions. I can tell you this, if this law passes, there's going to be a lot of people moving out of Michigan. How many people live in Michigan, do you think, watch porn? And they're not going to want to have to, you know, download shit and have flash drives passed from person to person. They're going to be like, fuck this, and they're going to go move to Wisconsin, or they're going to move to Illinois, or they're going to move somewhere nearby that doesn't have these fucking laws in place. Now again, I'm not saying I'm for pornography. I'm not. But I think that if people want to be fucking heathens and watch their porn, at this point in time, just let them. It's not like some guy living next door to you who's a coomer and waxes meat 5 times a day or 50 times a day or whatever these coomers do. It's not like you could say, oh, well, you know, I have a kid and I don't want him to grow up and do that. So then raise him right. But you know what? He's going to get porn anyway. Because that's how far we've come. You can't stop that from happening. It pisses me off. This could spell trouble for VPN owners and other internet users who leverage these tools to improve their privacy, protect their identities online, which is a perfectly viable and reasonable thing to want to do, prevent ISPs from gathering data about them, or increase their safety when browsing on public Wi-Fi. That's another use case that I didn't talk about. Bills like these could have unintended side effects. John Perino, senior policy and advocacy expert at the nonprofit Internet Society, mentioned to CNET that adult content laws like this could interfere with what kind of music people can stream, sexual health forums, articles they can access, and even important news topics or news articles involving sexual topics that they may want to read. Additionally, state age verification laws are difficult for smaller services to comply with, hurting competition in an open internet. Yeah, but you know, everything that we're talking about, that this guy just said, and everything else, these, like I said, these fucking politicians, these morons, that for some reason we have a system of government where we want people like this in power. We want to just have some guy go represent us. Every fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry that knows nothing, hasn't a fucking clue about anything when it comes to technology. And you want them to have this much control over your life? People who have no clue. All the shit that I've been talking about. This last paragraph I read that this John Perino guy said, I didn't even think of any of this. So you expect your lawmakers to think of it? The bill has not passed the Michigan House Committee, nor been voted on by the Senate. It's not clear how much support the bill currently has beyond the 6 Republican representatives who have proposed it. As we've seen in the past, sometimes bills like these can serve as templates for other representatives who may want to propose similar laws in their own states. Now, the article goes on to ask, can VPNs still get around bans like these? And I'm not going to read that because it's a bunch of technobabble. But the short answer is abso-fucking-lutely. You cannot stop it. And I hope these 6 Republican lawmakers, representatives, whatever, I hope they get their asses booted out as soon as possible. I hope they have to go work a fucking desk job somewhere and really, really think about what they tried to do and the implications of it. Look at that. 55 minutes in. I really talked about this shit, huh? Man. And I still had the Trump thing I wanted to get into. I didn't want to go for an hour. Why am I... You know why? Because I'm a blabbermouth, man. I just I just keep going and going and going. I can't have a stream that's less than half an hour unless OBS crashes on me, which it hasn't been doing since I plugged in the wired connection. So maybe the Wi-Fi was the issue. So let's get through this Trump shit. You know, I could really care less about this. I just found it interesting. This is from far left outlet Axios, who claims to be neutral, but come on, man. The first domino. James Comey indictment sets MAGA retribution in motion. Yeah, let's see it happen, man, because there's some of these people need to be retributed. The indictment of former FBI Director James Comey, scumbag, has delivered President Trump and the MAGA movement their first taste of legal retribution, and likely not their last. Well, he was indicted, but he's not going to get charged with anything. This is all a show. This is all theater to keep his base entertained. This is to keep the hardcore MAGA guys like, oh yeah, it's happening finally. This is like QAnon, but it's soft QAnon. Why it matters. To Democrats and the legal establishment, the charges against Comey for obstruction of justice and lying to Congress represent one of the most brazen collapses of prosecutorial independence in U.S. history. To Trump's base, the indictment is vindication, a long-awaited strike against the deep state villain they've obsessed over for nearly a decade. You know, usually I would give the outlet shit over their choice of language. Oh, a deep state villain they've obsessed over for nearly a decade. But, you know, I think Axios is kind of right when they say it that way. Yeah, MAGA, the extreme MAGA people have definitely obsessed over this guy. I don't think he's small potatoes, man. Comey, yeah, he definitely did some shit wrong, but That's not the one we really want to see gone. It's not even one person. I say we like I'm one of them. I guess in this aspect I am, is that I know that there's a lot of people in the government, a lot of these fuckers need to be taken out. And I'm not saying taken out as in sleeping with the fishes over there. I'm saying removed from power. Now, MAGA's biggest question is how much further will Trump go in enforcing the political accountability that has animated the movement for years? He'll only go, here's my point, he will only go as far as he needs to satisfy the people that follow him. Because he doesn't really give a fuck either. There, I said it. You know I definitely will piss off some fucking liberals. I will piss off some leftists with my stream. I'll piss off some of you MAGA people too. You know why? Because I'm not either one. I don't fall onto either side. I lean heavily towards the right with most things, but I'm still down and game to call you fuckers out when you need to be. The big picture. I just wanted to make it known. The big picture. The indictment came just days after Trump publicly demanded that AG Pam Bondi charge his enemies, including Comey, New York AG Letitia James, what a nasty woman, and Senator Shifty Adam Schiff. Beady-eyed little fuck. I don't like him. He's a serpent. Hold on, I see a cockroach. A small one. Thanks to that 400-pound category woman that lived next door to me for a while. Got him. The whole building has become infested. And by building, I mean like 6 units. And now I see them all the time. And it's like, dude, my house is spotless. I don't live like that. I didn't get him. He just fell. There you are, you little fucking nasty little German. It's the Germans, too. When you get them German ones, you can't get rid of them. That's why I'm planning on moving very soon. When my lease is up, man, I'm out of this bitch. It was good enough until I started having to deal with roaches every day. You know, I got a cat. I put the cat food down. It used to be like my cat would eat her food. I feed her wet food for dinner. So I put the bowl down, right? She'd eat half of it, and then halfway through the night, she'd come back and eat the other half. You know, that's how cats are. But now I had to get her used to eating it all at once because she knows, like, all right, I'm going to pick it up. I've had to dump out a significant chunk of her food before, and a few times after doing that, she kind of got the message, like, okay, the food's going away at a certain time for some reason. Well, she doesn't know why, because the fucking roaches. She sees the roaches, like, she probably just thinks they're, like, little interactive toys that I bought her. Anyway, back to the Trump shit. No one wants to hear about me and my cat and my roach problem. Donald Trump declared the trio guilty as hell. I would say that the three of them are reprehensible human beings. And yeah, they're probably all guilty of something. I know Letitia James is. I know Comey is. Schiff, I don't know if he's actually done anything wrong or if he's just a little beady-eyed little scumbag. But hey, let's throw him in the mix too, because, yeah, like I said, I don't like him. Link the need to serve swift justice to the roles they played in the congressional investigations, criminal probes, and civil lawsuits that have dogged his political career. He took credit for firing the U.S. attorney, who declined to bring charges against James and Comey. And then installed personal attorney Lindsey Halligan. Oh, he's pulling out the Halligan bar. Any firefighters listening, you know what that is. Who has no prosecutorial experience to finish the job. Hey, I don't have prosecutorial experience, but I'll go in there and prosecute a motherfucker if you pick me. Pick me, pick me. What they're saying, as the legal world recoiled in horror. Did they really recoil in horror? Like they just saw a dead body, or like, what do you mean they recoiled in horror? At Trump's breach of Department of Justice independence. MAGA, quote unquote, they didn't put quotes, I am, quote unquote, MAGA erupted with glee and hunger for more. What does that mean? Who's MAGA? Is it Trump? Is it Trump's advisors? Is it Trump's, in-group, his cabinet? Is it the supporters? Who's MAGA that's erupting with glee and hunger for more? Erupting with glee and hunger? I don't like the way you're wording that, Axios. Try not to editorialize so much, eh? Erupted with glee and hunger. We... Oh, fuck. We are just getting started today with this indictment. It's going to get much worse for the Democrats. Posted the Article 3 project's Mike Davis, one of MAGA's enforcers in the legal wars. One of MAGA's Okay, whatever. Comey is the first domino to fall. Others must fall faster now, added former Lieutenant General... Oh, Michael Flynn. A senior aide in Trump's first term who was prosecuted during the Russia investigation. Well, that Russia investigation was all bullshit, and we all know it. Zoom in. Trump denied on Friday that he had a, quote, list of enemies to prosecute. But in the same breath told reporters, I think there will be others. They are corrupt. Well, that is true. MAGA, on the other hand, has kept a lengthy list of 4 years, and sees Comey as the first of many names to be crossed off. So MAGA's not Trump. Who are they referring to? This has to be like the base. This has to be we the people, so to speak. We the people that are bracketed into Trump support. Others include Schiff, James, former Director CIA John Brennan, former National Intelligence Director James Clapper, and National Security Advisor John Bolton. Brennan and Bolton they kind of ring a bell. Brennan definitely does. Bolton a little bit. I don't know about no James Clapper. All of whom are currently under DOJ investigation. The crown jewels of MAGA's retribution agenda. Former President Obama. Well, yeah, he needs to go. Hillary Clinton. She's pretty bad, but... plus liberal philanthropist George Soros. I'd say he's a pretty big target, yeah. Soros is going to die soon, though. I mean, what are you going to do? Oh, lock him up so he can die in 2 years. Like, no. Soros got away with it, man. You guys need to get over that shit. Between the lines, it's hard to overstate how much the Comey indictment means to MAGA, given his role as the face of the Russia probe and the embodiment of the deep state they believe tried to take Trump down. Well, yes. Yes and no. Yes, he was kind of the face of the Russia probe. Yes, there is a deep state. Is it as deep as, quote-unquote MAGA wants to make it seem? I don't know. Did they try to take Trump down? Yes. But is Comey the embodiment of the deep state? I would say no. I would say he's just another pawn like most of them were. It's not about taking Trump down either, because Trump is kind of deep state at this point too. So, again, this is all charades. Charades usually are humorous. But many legal experts, including conservative lawyer Andrew McCarthy, view the charges as flimsy. Like a piece of sheet metal when you wobble it. raising the possibility that the case against Comey could collapse at trial. I think that's also very possible. I don't see this going anywhere, honestly. Not the Comey thing. Especially when you put in Lindsay Halligan to do it, who apparently has no experience. And the courts are already skewed against you. What are you expecting? Again, this is all for show. Others are skeptical it makes it that far, predicting Trump's public commentary could get the case dismissed on grounds of malicious prosecution. Yeah, also very possible. That could become a problem for a MAGA base that is demanding convictions and prison sentences, sources said. That's a lot of in one sentence. Well, I mean, this MAGA base has been demanding this shit for 8 years now. I mean, come on. 2016, what was the main thing with Trump? Lock her up! Lock her up! And then it was turn off the lights! Turn off the lights! I think more than anything, they want accountability and not just a show, said Sean Spicer, Trump's first White House press secretary. I remember that guy. Well, Sean, I was just saying, I've been saying it all along. This is all for show, clearly. Trump's base is still unsatisfied. Many aren't optimistic that Trump will actually indict others or even succeed with Comey. Podcaster Tim Pool told Tim Pool. That fucking guy. Oh, Timmy. I mean, he's right about that, though. I'm not optimistic that Trump will actually get any of this done. I don't even think I think it's all fake. What to watch? The Justice Department right now, I guess, is investigating John Brennan, who quarterbacked the contested 2017 Intelligence Community Assessment, which stated that Russia had a clear preference for Trump in the 2016 election for allegedly lying to Congress. Well, if Russia has a preference for any politician, anyone running for president, why was that only present in 2016? So what, they didn't care about the 2012 elections, they didn't care in 2020, they didn't care in 24. It's just weird that they really hyped up the Russia thing in 2016. And it's never really, at least to my knowledge, it's never really been that hyped, that important, that in the foreground as it was then. Brennan's prosecution might have been complicated by a snafu over security clearances of potential witnesses, but Comey's indictment, based on little public information and one alleged false statement, could embolden prosecutors to press ahead against Brennan. Well, alright, that's the end of the article. Here's what I really think on all this. Again, it's all just a show, but let's say I'm wrong. I think it's about fucking time. I don't know why none of this happened in the first 4 years of Trump's presidency. Back when most of us who were supporting Trump were like gung-ho for the motherfucker. Now we've had enough time to see what he's really about, what he's doing, and that he kind of bullshitted his way through his first term and a lot of that. He didn't go after Hillary. He didn't really even attempt to go after any of these other people. And now everyone's hyping it, I guess. I don't know. I don't pay attention to the MAGA sphere. But you got a left-leaning group, Axios, reporting here, basically saying that, oh, well, now he's actually serious. Now he's going to do it. It's like, the first one you go after is Comey. Why are you wasting time on small potatoes when you should just go after the big fish? Even as this article said, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and I guess Soros. But no, James Comey. Most people, myself included, before he came into the news again in the last week or two, Most of us hadn't thought of James Comey since, like, he got fucking kicked out of the FBI. When I heard, like, oh, Trump's going after Comey now, I'm like, Comey, isn't that... I have to look him up. Like, oh, that guy. What? Why? Make it make sense. Ugh. It's all bullshit. It's all for show. This is all just theater to keep MAGA base entertained, to piss off the left, and to make the MAGA right feel like they're accomplishing something. They got something done, and they're going to go home and celebrate and, you know, bust out the nice cigars and pull out the expensive bourbon. Or they'll go pull out the bottle of Don Julio 1942, you know. Seems like a whole load of shit to me, however. And since I've been going for almost an hour and 15, and no one's jumped in my chat, I mean, it is a Saturday, everyone's busy. Not I. I was gonna maybe talk some shit afterwards, but I think I'll save that for another stream. So, spanks for watching, all zeros of you. And I'll see you next time. Clicking the thing, fucking end it. There we go.